So let's have a little chat, shall we? Child, I tried to make this video earlier today, but my boyfriend came in from work, and I really don't like making videos while he's around me because, child, I don't want him all in my damn business. And when I'm talking to my people, child, I don't want him knowing what I'm saying. And I'm talking to the people that follow me, and that watch me. And I don't mean followers as in worship me. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the people that are interested in what I have to fucking say. And I appreciate the people that really value the words that come out of my mouth and the words that I say and value my heart and my spirit. You understand? I'm talking about the people that really value and respect what I have to say, not the fake motherfuckers who pretended that they did, but the real people. You feel what I'm saying? We don't worry about fake motherfuckers because fake motherfuckers don't last long. They're not built on a sturdy foundation. They're built on quicksand and not even cement. They are built on quicksand. And one storm from Oya will blow their motherfucking house down. Okay? So let's not worry about people who don't really value you. You understand? They don't if they don't value you, then maybe that's a blessing in disguise. Or maybe it's a lesson that should be learned or that could be learned. But nevertheless, here's what I wanted to talk about. I've been watching how things are moving, right? And no one seems to be talking about this. So I guess it's destined for me to talk about it, right? But has anybody noticed how they are trying to push up Pete Davidson? You know, that white guy that's a comedian. I ain't got nothing against the young man, nothing against him. And I'm not saying anything negative against him. I'm not even saying that he's ugly. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even saying that he's ugly. Okay? But Pete Davidson is not a sex symbol. There are white men that look better than him. But they're propping him up. That's the word that I was looking for originally. They are propping him up as a sex symbol. And they're using Kim Kardashian to do it. This is what I'm talking about. I got some inside scoop, some deep inside scoop, let's just say that, and some inside tea. So, allegedly, Kim Kardashian has been going around telling people that Kanye West allegedly is bad in bed and that she is disgusted by his body because his body is flabby and all these other things, right? Child, my boyfriend ain't here and he ain't gotta know. But Kanye, child, listen. I ain't one of your biggest motherfucking fans, but child, listen. If you ever want some boy, you know what? Hit me up, child. I'll take you. My boyfriend ain't gotta know. We can mess around on the side, child. Shit. If she, what? What? You know, the Kardashians, they don't like fat people and they don't like people with weight on their body. They don't like that. So evidently, Kim has been going around to different people saying that Pete Davidson is a better lover than Kanye West. Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian are allegedly dating. Okay? They're allegedly dating. Here's my whole thing with it. For years, we never saw Kim Kardashian dating or even smelling another white man, or any white man rather, right? Now, she did have an interest, although she denies it, but she did. The bitch is lying. She did. She had an interest in Tim Tebow, the football player. He's a white boy. But he said, no, 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 no. He said, no, 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 no. He said no. He turned her down. He probably said in his mind, you done got fucked by all them goddamn black men. Hell to the motherfucking no. That pussy ain't no motherfucking good. Because you done had all them big black dicks all up in you. My dick ain't gonna work up in you. And this ain't no shade to Tim Tebow. But we all know that Kim Kardashian has been ran through by many black men. Reggie Bush, Ray J, Kanye West, and God knows who else. And she was married once before to a black man, if I'm not mistaken. Wasn't she married to a black man before Kanye West? Wasn't she? And which one of them were married to... Wait a minute. Let me do some research. Let me do some occult research. Let me see something. Wait a minute. Let me see something. Chris. Let's see. Yeah, he was married to Kim Kardashian. Chris Humphries. She was married to Chris Humphries. He was black, wasn't he? Biracial, but he was black. She's been married to a couple. Let me see. Because I want to get this correct. Oh, come on. She was married to Damon Thomas, Chris Humphries, and Kanye West. She was married 3 times. All of her husbands were black men. Tim Tebow said no thank you. And now she denies ever being attracted to Tim Tebow. Isn't Kim Kardashian a Libra? Isn't she a Libra? Let me see. I think she's a Libra. Let me make sure. Yeah, she's a Libra. Libras lie. Libras are big fucking liars. They are liars, just like Tauruses. Liars. Just like Pisces. Liars. And Leos. Liars. Big fucking liars. It's interesting that nobody is talking about and nobody is making a big deal that she is now fucking Pete Davidson. You know what else I find kind of disturbing and creepy behind all of this in a comical way? Pete Davidson reminds me, his energy reminds me of a black man's energy. I don't know what black man's energy, but you do know that Flavor Flav is allowing him to vampire off of him. Flavor Flav, you a stupid motherfucker. He's a Pisces, so of course he's stupid. Especially the fucking men. Some of the women too. Don't give a fuck who it offends, child. I'm just saying. You're a stupid motherfucker. So Flavor Flav is now all of a sudden Pete Davidson's adoptive father. So is he letting Pete Davidson suck his dick? Because I heard that Flavor Flav has a real big dick. So is Flavor Flav having sex with Pete Davidson and fucking him up the ass? Is that where he's getting his motherfucking energy from? Oh, so now I get it. That's who he acts like and reminds me of. Flavor Flav. And coincidentally, or incidentally, Flavor Flav, Kim Kardashian, and Kris Kardashian, and Pete Davidson, they were all posing in a photo together not that long ago. So Kim Kardashian is now, she was used to prop the black men up. See, all you black men, y'all loved her. They used her to prop you up to a temporary status, and now they're using her to tear you down. And then on top of that, she's using a white boy to degrade and to tear down her husband, Kanye West, the father of her children. That is an ultimate slap in the face to the black man, especially all of the black heterosexual men that thought that she was just all this and all that. There are white women that I could point out that look better than her, even in their older age. There are white women from back in the day that look better than her. They didn't have to have no motherfucking big old ass and all that bullshit. I'm talking about face. They gave good fucking face. For example, Hudson Lake, that played Callisto on Xena. She gave good motherfucking face. She gave good fucking face. Good fucking face. I'm just saying white women that look better than Kim Kardashian. Who else from back in the day? Because all these motherfuckers now look like science projects. So I want to go back into the time where they looked natural. And I'm only comparing her to white women because she's a white woman. Trying to think. I can't think right now, child. I don't know why, but you get what I'm saying. So now Kim Kardashian, in order for her to get to the next level, she has to degrade the black man's penis, the black man's body. And I find it interesting that black men are so much up under mind control. You can talk about gay black people, you can clown black women, clown gay black people, but none of you are talking about how Kim Kardashian is clowning Kanye West. That's a major motherfucking subconscious attack against you, heterosexual black men. And this ain't me trying to clown you. I'm bringing something to your attention that's going on behind the scenes. See, this is the ritual this is a ritual. This is a real ritual. And see, nobody is paying attention to it because what's surrounding it is innuendos, gossip, and rumors. It's being surrounded by glamour magic. It's being protected by glamour magic so you won't really see what's actually going on. So now that they've gotten everything they've needed from black men, they don't need you anymore. They don't need you anymore. So now they are transferring, I may be saying that wrong, transferring the energy from you to these white boys, like a Pete Davidson. And there are some white boys, no, and this ain't no shade, but there are some white boys that look good. Seriously, there are some white boys that look motherfucking good and look better than him and got more swagger than him. But they're propping him up as a sex symbol over black men. But what's interesting is that he's hanging around a lot of black men. So my question remains, is Flavor Flav fucking him up the ass, and is he sucking Flavor Flav's big black cock? Because I heard Flavor Flav has a big black cock. Is that why Flavor Flav is looking so old and so, drawn in and so messed up? Because he's not that old. He's only in his early 60s. And I've seen other men in their early 60s, and they don't look like that. That's if he's even in his early 60s. Let me just double check. He's only 62 years old. Looking like this. And now Pete Davidson is his son. Now him and Pete Davidson all of a sudden have this connection with each other. So that's who he reminds me of. He reminds me of Flavor Flav. So they have Flavor Flav, who's a Pisces, who's too weak to see that he's being used by the Scorpio, Pete Davidson. The Scorpio, who's known for being, the Scorpio, which is known for being two-faced, energy suckers, blood suckers, vampires, just like the Taurus. So the Pisces, who is supposed to be the vampire, is being vampired off of. And he doesn't even know it. Flavor Flav, you got to do better than that. You got to do better than that. So now they're propping up this ridiculous looking young man who happens to be white. They're propping him up to be a sex symbol, so people can be attracted to him. But people that are really attractive, they're telling people not to be attracted to them. People that have real sex appeal are being, I guess you can say, voodooed or mind controlled not to be attracted to real sex appeal. Because when I look at Pete Davidson, and this is no disrespect, and this has nothing to do with skin color, I'm talking about sex appeal. When I look at Pete Davidson, when I really look at him, I look at a person who does not look as if he is healthy. He doesn't look healthy to me. And that's the type of shit that we are supposed to be attracted to. And then on the back end, they're trying to get black men to be attracted to that too. I was watching a video earlier today by Walter Lee Hampton, and I know sometimes I like Walter's videos, and sometimes I don't agree, whatever the case may be. But now that I'm a little bit older, and now that I look at things in a better perspective, Walter is right about a lot of things that he said. No, I don't always agree with everything that he says. I don't always agree with everything anybody says, just like nobody has to agree with everything that I say. But Walter was talking about how the HIV epidemic between Black and Hispanic men has actually increased in the past decade, even with the advent of all of these new medications. The HIV epidemic has increased among Black gay men, Black bisexual men, Black Hispanic men. I don't know why they left white men out of that, because white gay men and white bisexual men, they are some of the most promiscuous. Okay? They are some of the most promiscuous. Go on X-Hamster and you will see. Visit any dating app and you will see. I do for research purposes, for occult purposes. He was saying that, statistically and data shows, whatever, tomato, it shows that that HIV has actually increased in the Hispanic community, the Hispanic gay community, and the Black gay community, and the Hispanic bisexual community, and the Black bisexual community. That the HIV rate has increased, even with all of these advanced new medicines like Shinova, PrEP, and all of these other medications that are supposed to protect you from HIV. And it just so happens, when was it? A few weeks ago, I went and had a physical. I was tested for gonorrhea, syphilis, chlamydia, herpes, and HIV. And I ain't got a motherfucking thing. And I got my paperwork to prove it. I don't have anything. And one of the reasons that I don't have any diseases, and I'm not trying to sit on my throne and act like I'm better than anybody, even though in that aspect I am, because it's a duty. It is a certain integral duty as a gay black man to have a certain amount of integrity and a certain amount of dignity about yourself. And you are supposed to go and get checked. You are supposed to make sure, and Hispanic men too, I'm talking to you too, because you're men of color. You're supposed to go and get checked. You're supposed to protect yourself. Especially when most of you like other black men like I do, and a lot of these black men who are allegedly straight, not heterosexual, but allegedly straight or trade, a lot of them, they're running off with these gay white men behind the scenes, whom a lot of them are HIV infected, but they don't show those statistics because they mind control people to make you think it's only black and Hispanic people. And then they use numbers to manipulate and to stipulate types of thinking. And this ain't no shade to gay white men. This ain't no shade to bisexual white men. I'm just speaking truth and facts. They are very promiscuous. They're always looking for black men's sperm and looking for, a black man to bareback them in their rectum. And a lot of these so-called straight black men that are married to black women, that mess around with they don't really mess around with other gay black men. They want white men. A lot of them oblige these men. Let me tell you all a story. This is why I'm so glad that I am not out there anymore. I have a friend. If I want some dick, I can get it from him. Let me tell you a story. Years ago, when I used to really frequent dating sites and stuff like that, there was a guy that lived not that far from me. And he kept trying to get me to have bareback sex with him. So basically, he wanted to fuck me raw. He wanted to stick it in me raw, child. And I told him no. And when I told him no, he blocked me on whatever site we were on. I forgot, but I never forgot the situation. He blocked me. And back then, my feelings were really hurt. I was like, oh my God, because all I said, if we're going to do something, let's wear a condom. Excuse me. No, I thought I heard my friend coming in. But anyway, because I would not have sex with him raw, he got mad at me. He got mad. And I just think about that. And I thank God, the God in me, that I did not do what he wanted me to do. Or I could have ended up like my childhood friend, laying up in a nursing home, 50 pounds, looking like a skeleton, suffering from that deadly, awful disease. Because my childhood friend, who I loved and I miss him so much, he barebacked. He liked to bareback. So when I was listening to Walter's video, I didn't listen to all of it, but what I find interesting is that when I look at commercials on Hulu, and I remember somebody else was saying this too a while back, that they no longer have commercials that promote people to use protection. Back in the day, they would have commercials saying, wrap it up. Put a condom on. Nobody likes using condoms anymore. The only commercials that you see now, they're showing you all of these different treatments for HIV and AIDS. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. But what about just using a condom? You know, my friend that lives with me now, for many years, we used a condom. For many years, we used a condom. And I'm talking about for oral sex. I used to suck his dick with a condom because I'm just that motherfucking good. That's why he done moved in with me, child. My mouth is that motherfucking magic. You feel me? It's magical. But that's another story. For years, we used a condom. For years, even for oral sex. I ain't never let nobody go inside of my butt raw. I never done that. Because we have a duty as black gay men to have some type of respect for ourselves. We already have niggas in the conscious community, you know, attacking us and degrading us and dismissing us and treating us like, you know, we don't exist and that we're freaks. They offer you friendship and then they totally dismiss you, but they uplift deceptive DL practices and DL deceptive lifestyles. They promote that. We already have to deal with that. And we can actually do something to prevent ourselves from getting sick and spreading diseases, not just to each other, but you getting sick from somebody else. Especially from these confused ass motherfucking so-called trade. The fucking trade, they ain't shit. Them niggas are fuck boys. They are fuck boys. They will put their dick in anything and anyone. And because a lot of gay white men are so promiscuous and they're so thirsty for black men's semen so they can use that fucking semen in whatever rituals they want to use it in to keep you coming back and to keep you under their fucking control. But you don't know that now, do you? Huh? You don't know that though, do you? You think they just want to suck your dick? Yeah, right. Go on X Hamster. This is the main thing I wanted to say is this. If you want to know why the HIV rate in the past decade has not gone down, go on to X Hamster and you will see why. You have black men on there taking gay black men taking raw dick, allowing white men to ejaculate inside of them. No condom. It's called breeding. Most people know that. The breeding. You have these DL black men that are allowing these gay white men to suck their dicks raw. These so-called black men who are big masculine looking truck drivers letting all these weirdo gay white men suck their penises. And I'm not calling them weirdo because they're gay and white. I'm calling them weirdo because they just happen to be weirdo and they happen to be white because of what they want. It's one thing to just want to have fun. It's another thing when you are reckless with that fun. And then a lot of these men are being recorded and they don't even know. It was one black guy, looked like he was a married truck driver. He met some gay white guy in a hotel and the guy was recording him. And if I was that guy's relative, I would have recognized him, even though the camera was at an angle where you really couldn't see a whole lot. You saw enough to be able to identify who that person could possibly be if you looked hard enough. Black bisexual men who pretend to be straight, you all are putting yourselves at risk for a lot of shit. So if people want to know why the HIV rate in the gay black community and in the gay Hispanic community is rising up, it's because of a lot of these bisexual black men. Because they're having sex with any and everything. And then these gay men, Hispanic and black, they like black men. They like the trade. But the trade don't like us. And I definitely don't like them fuck boys. Not now. Now back in my heyday, when I was in my early 20s, the trade was a little bit different. They had a little bit more decorum with themselves. And I know decorum means clothing, but I'm making it into something else because I can do that. I'm God. I can do that. Okay? So there's a reason why you see all of these HIV commercials targeted mainly towards black women and gay black men. Whenever I see that what is that new HIV drug, Trubono or Truberna or Chernobyl, whatever, it sounds like Chernobyl, over in that nuclear incident that took place over in the Soviet Union back in the day. Chernobyl, Chernuba, whatever that new HIV injection is that people can take. This is a serious, serious illness. It is very serious. And it's not to be made fun of. Because some of these guys, they don't want to get HIV. Let's just say that first off. Because I don't want anybody to think I'm making fun of anybody. But we have a duty as gay black men of a certain age to have some respect for ourselves. Nobody wants to get HIV, so it's nothing to make fun of. But I'm not talking about the openly gay men. We have a responsibility too. But I'm talking about these confused men, like the heterosexual bottoms that people promote. But you're promoting dysfunction. You're promoting a diseased mind. But all you see are commercials that are geared towards black women and gay black men. All of these HIV medication commercials and all of that shit, it's targeting or making people think that it's only gay black men and black women that have this issue, when it's not. When it's not. They don't talk about the gay white men that have HIV, or the bisexual white men that mess around on their wives with a lot of these black men, and how a lot of these white men are carrying HIV. They don't talk about that. My childhood friend who contracted HIV in 2009 and died in 2011, case in point, he went down to Florida, met some rich white man. The white man bought him a Mercedes truck. My friend comes back to DC. He's HIV positive. Now, what's interesting is that around 2007, I noticed how much weight my friend had lost. His fingers were very thin, but I said, oh, maybe D just, I'm going to call him D. I said, maybe D is just, maybe he just, he's lost weight, he's on a diet or whatever the case may be. Then 2 years later, I find out he's over in the fucking nursing home dying from AIDS. No, let me back up. Somebody had told me that D was really sick. He was really, really sick, and they went over to his house, and he had a bunch of medications on his nightstand. And I said, oh no. So me, D, and his sister, I'm going to call her Sharon, we all went out to dinner. And I saw how sick he really was. He was very irritable. He was sick. D was sick. He was really sick. And not long after that, he died. Not long after that, he died. I went to see him in a nursing home, and I was so alarmed by his appearance. I didn't cry or anything because I was used to being around people with AIDS, because my aunt also had AIDS, and she died around the same time. She contracted it from her baby daddy. Okay? She got it from her baby daddy. So I was used to dealing with this anyway. But it seems like when gay men get AIDS, it tears us down a lot quicker than it does women. You understand what I'm saying? But the point that I'm making is that he went to Florida, messed with some rich white guy, and ended up with HIV afterwards. He didn't just give him a Mercedes, he gave him something much worse and took my friend away from us. So I understand what Walter was saying in that video, that in the past 10 years, things have gotten worse. And if you go onto X Hamster and you see all the promiscuity, and if you see all of the barebacking and all of the unprotected sex, you have guys on X Hamster that have glory holes. And for those who don't know what a glory hole is, it's something like this. You let somebody come over your house, some man, they stick their dicks through a hole that you have created in a cloth or some type of barrier. You create a hole in that barrier. You don't see the person unless you have a camera, but they put their dicks through that hole, you suck it, and then that person goes on about their business. And they do this several times a day. Now, I'm not saying that I'm a motherfucking saint. I'm not saying that I'm no motherfucking saint, but I tell you one motherfucking thing, ain't nobody never ejaculated in my rectum. I ain't never had no motherfucking raw sex. And I don't have no motherfucking diseases. I don't have no HIV, thankfully, because I used my brain, I used my head. But for some people, you know, they trust people, and they just don't think that a person would do something like that to them. So I think that it's a double-edged sword. I think responsibility plays a big part in it, but I don't want to come off being cold and callous. I really don't. That's not where this is coming from. This is coming from a place telling my fellow gay black brethren and my Hispanic ones too, y'all be careful messing with these motherfucking dirty ass motherfucking bisexual, confused black men in America. You be careful dealing with them. Because these motherfuckers will get you caught up. Because what nobody wants to talk about is the fact that when the AIDS epidemic first came on the scenes, they referred to it as a gay white man's disease because it was mainly gay white men who were contracting it, unfortunately. It's nothing to laugh at or make fun of. But then the more and more black men that started messing with gay white men, that is when it became an issue in our community. That is when it became an issue with the Mexicans and the Hispanics and the Latinos. So let's talk real motherfucking talk. This ain't about hatred. This is about awareness. Now, I know a lot of people are not going to remember because they have changed the timelines. They've done a lot of what they call the Mandela effect. They've done a lot of shit to remove a lot of old ancient information about that time. But I remember when Rock Hudson was on Dynasty. I'm a child of the 80s. I'm almost a goddamn millennial, excuse me. I consider me an old millennial. I'm an old millennial. I'm 42. I'm in between Generation X and the millennial stage because I was born right there at the end of 79, almost in 1980. I was born in August. So I'm almost a millennial. And I saw a lot of motherfucking things and I heard a lot of things that they don't talk about anymore and things that they have removed. They targeted, which was a biological attack or chemical attack, they targeted the gay community, they targeted gay white men at that time. And then once they got their hooks on them, the more black men that started messing with gay white men, that's when it became an issue in the black community. So this isn't about hate. This is about awareness. And now we're supposed to pretend that gay white men don't have an issue with HIV in their community. And I'm not faulting Walter for this. This ain't directed towards Walter Hampton. He did nothing wrong. I'm just giving my own perspective. I'm just saying in general. Because they want to make it a Hispanic, a black, and a black woman thing. No. There are many, many gay and bisexual white men who practice unprotected sex. They do barebacking and they love sucking black men's penises. So if there is an issue with HIV in the black community and they are messing with black men and Hispanic men, you better goddamn well believe that it's affecting their community too. But the difference is they get help for theirs. They have the money and the resources, a lot of them, to take the medications, the best medications. When Rock Hudson, when he was an actor back in the 1950s, and they didn't know he was gay then. Well, the public didn't. But the studio heads, they knew. But when it was publicly finally discovered that he was gay, it was because he had AIDS. And he was dying from AIDS. He went over to France to try some new experimental antiviral treatment. And this was back in the 1980s, and it wasn't working. They didn't have the drugs then that they have now to treat HIV. They didn't have those drugs then. So going back to Pete Davidson and all of these other fucking celebrities, they don't look well to me. I'm not saying anybody has HIV. Let me say that as a disclaimer. I'm not saying that. What I am saying, though, in my opinion, he does not look well to me. Flavor Flav does not look well to me. And when you really know what the fuck is going on in the underworld, you will understand why there's so much HIV still rampant a decade later, even with all of these advances in medicines. You'll understand why, because a lot of these bisexual black men in the black community, they're fucking with white men who do anything, who fuck anything. They go and meeting these men, letting them suck their dicks in cars. These types of black bisexual men, they have no morals. They have no integrity. They have no self-esteem. The only time they have any type of get up and go is when they try to come after and attack a gay black person or a black woman. That's the only time they have any get up and go. Go on X Hamster. You will see all of these so-called straight black men letting these old white men suck their dicks. I saw one video with this young black guy. He looked like he was no more than 19 years old, and he's fucking some old white man that looked like he's in his 70s. He's fucking him raw. He's fucking him raw, and you can hear the white man saying to him, "Put all of your nut inside of me, boy." So if people are wondering why the HIV epidemic is still rampant, there's your answer. We have a duty as gay black men to protect ourselves, even the ones who are HIV positive. You have a duty to protect yourself, to make sure that you remain safe from these types of people who don't care about your health. And if they don't care about your health, then you have to care about your health. You have to care about it. There are people that were infected with HIV, of no fault of their own. Nobody, even people that are living reckless lives, nobody wants to be infected with HIV. And the young gay black men that have been infected with HIV at young ages, it was because they probably didn't know any better. So we have to have compassion for them. But you old motherfuckers, 30 and above, you know better. And think about the women who got infected with it because they were on drugs, maybe shooting drugs and stuff. When you're on drugs, you're not thinking about nothing like that. You're thinking about only one thing. So it's a lot of, detrimental factors that we have to pay attention to as well. Anyway, that's all I have to say for now.